Hello, good afternoon. This is Diecast Loan. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the episode of Vintage Diecast Monday episode. And this week we're going to be taking a look at this very cool Lamborghini Marzal. Or at least I'll presume it's pronounced Marzal. And it's an interesting car, so I thought it deserves a video all to itself. And if I get a chance, if a video doesn't go on for too long, I don't know how much we're going to see of this, but I've got this very cool Matchbox toys book just to flick through. Not all of it, but a few pages in there with some particularly choice models that are very cool just to look at. But I'd like to say, I'll see if I can get that in at the end. Anyway, so the Lamborghini Marzal. So it first started off as a concept car in 1967, which I'll show you right now. So there is a picture of the original car. There was a little bit of information that I left with the picture, but I didn't want to go too far into it. I just wanted to show that it was a real car. And I think Matchbox, when they made this model, they actually nailed it. They got it. I've looked at some of the pictures of the real car, other pictures of it, and they really did do a good job. I have one of these put away somewhere in, I believe it's possibly the Brazilian model. Doesn't have a box, and it's in a bit of rough shape, but I'll get back to that in a minute. We'll take a look at the car in question. So here it is. Here is the box. Here is the artwork. Box is in reasonably, very good condition actually. Box isn't mint, but it's in good used condition. And let's take a look at which particular color variation this one is. So they made this in many variation colors. I believe they made it in maroon, yellow, pink, and orange. And I believe the yellow version was a color trial when they were trialing, but don't hold me to that. I'm sure I read that somewhere. This particular version, if I can actually get the tissue off it, is like it's an orangey pink. So the colours weren't always straight colours. There was a red version, there was an orangey pink version. There's many variations of this. The first version of this came out in, I believe, 1969, and they continue making these up until about 1972. And then after Matchbox, I believe, changed to Universal Toys some years later, they made some cars called was it the Super GTs? Something like that, which were very cheap versions where they didn't have interiors. And I believe the car casting carried on again as a Super GT, I believe. So again, don't hold me to that. But let's get some closer zoom to this. And there it is. It is in absolutely fantastic condition. The car is as mint. There's the front. And like I said, they've really captured the car very well. I think it's a pretty little car. And a very nice model of it was the interior. Let's get some extra zoom on. There's actually the interior's done it again. First time in a while. Let's try again. There we go. I don't know how it's coming through, but you can actually see the interior is done, if I can get it right, quite nice. Seats are there. You can make out the different seats. You can see the center console actually has some slotting to it. Steering wheel. It wasn't just a plastic lump. Now, I know on the other version of this that I have, I'm sure it has the transitional super fast skinny wheels. And then they went on to change them to these, I believe. Like I said, I'm saying this because I haven't really researched this car. I was being a bit lazy today. I usually do research my cars, but I know from the other one, which I couldn't find, which is really strange. I know I've got it. I've got like I said, I've got the like a maroony colour. Actual fact, let me show you what colour I've got put away. So the first one you've seen, that's the one I have. It's not in that condition. It's a little bit, it's got a few little flea bites on it, but it is that rare Brazilian one. I actually have that without the box. And the other variations there, I just chucked in for good measure. So you get the gist. But it's a cool car. It's a really cool car. Actual fact, if you look there, I'll try and get the zoom in if I can. You can see there's some sort of what looks like I'm not sure if it's an armrest or if it's a little tray. Because I'm sure these were like a vacuum. The plastic was like a vacuum mold, I believe, on these interiors. I might be wrong. Like I said, I haven't researched this car, but it is very nicely detailed. And that's what I like about these earlier Matchboxes. These Matchbox cars from the late 60s and the 70s, they were very nicely done. Like I said, I've said this time and time again, if you put lights, painted details, you would have a car that would rival a premium, because metal body, metal base, bit of weight. But it is a very, very cool piece. Obviously, it rolls very nicely as it is like a new piece. It has suspension. And I thought this car deserved a video all to itself. Very, very cool piece. Really happy to come across this piece. There's the back. And another thing I learned about Matchbox is that all the number plates, if you look them up, if I get some extra zoom on, if you actually look the plates up on Google, they all actually refer to the date the car came out, as in the real car, I believe, and then it's the other numbers and letters are related to the actual toy. So the actual number plates do actually symbolize something. They're not real plates, but they'll basically say the year, or to do with the actual real car, and a part to do with the actual toy car. So the actual Matchbox car plates used to actually mean something back in the day. So very cool. So that is the little Lamborghini Marzal. I can't pronounce it. Bit of a mouthful. Very, very cool piece. I have got quite a few. I've been really good recently. I've got about 5 or 6 vintage Matchbox pieces that I could have shown, but I thought I'd stretch them out a little bit. Next week I'm going to probably show 2 pieces rather than showing one. I just wanted to do just this one piece, as I just thought it was such a cool piece. It deserved its own little video. So we'll just move that to one side and not knock it off the side. Just bear with me and I'll see if I can show some of the pages in this awesome book, which might be interesting. I might have to take the camera out and see if I can do this. So I got this book at Christmas time, and like I said, I don't know how well it's going to come out, because I've already noticed straight away I've got my camera, I've got my shadow in the background, which is a bit irritating. But it just basically gives you a broad history of Matchbox through the years, when it came out, and its story, and some of the founders and stuff like that. I've got other books that I've recently, so I believe that picture there was the Lesney factory. If I can get it to, I'm not quite sure, because I'll be honest, I haven't really read masses on it. There you go, some information there about it. Let's come out a little bit. Some of the older castings. I'm not going to go on too long with this. Like I said, the video hasn't been going massively long, so that's why I decided to. So there's some of the original boxes when it was Matchbox Moco. So anybody that doesn't know about the Matchbox Moco collection, Moco was like a partner with Matchbox. I can't remember the date when Matchbox actually bought Moco out, and Moco used to do all the boxes, and they used to do all the promotional work and everything. And eventually Matchbox ended up buying their shares out. So all the first cars were Moco, were a Matchbox series Moco product, and then eventually just went to Matchbox. I can't seem to. Let's try and turn the pages. So that's what I have. I've got one of those. Not that actual car, unfortunately, that is the rare one. So that's how they first were made. I don't know how many of them they actually made it that way round, but apparently they weren't happy with I'm not sure it's BP it wasn't happy, but they weren't happy with the colour combination, so Matchbox had to change it around, and it ended up becoming the yellow with the green, I believe. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these BP trucks with the green the other way around, they're worth a lot of money, but I've never yet come across one. I'm just making sure, I'm trying to get the one page at a time. But it is an interesting book. I'm trying to skip through, trying to get it all in, but I might just switch through some of the interesting. There's some pages back here. Let me just see if I can find the bit I wanted to show. So there's in the factory. I don't know how well this is coming out. Them working on the toolings and inside the factory back in the day, I should imagine this was in the 60s. And there's some of the, what looks like them being sprayed. So that's actually in the factory. I'm hoping this is coming out well, but that's how the cars are being sprayed. There's some more spray work going on there. I know one person told me once that at their height they were making up to 3 million models a week, and then I heard of another expert who knows a lot more than me, said it was more like 1 million cars a week. And that's where a lot of the variations came from with Matchbox, because they would make so many cars and they would basically run out of material. So that's how some cars would be, say, made in green and then would have like a yellow interior one week, and then the next week when they've got the colour back, they'd be back to a red interior. So that's how a lot of the variations were accidental, and some were on purpose. I'm just going to switch to another page a minute, just bear with me. And I'm back again. I just wanted to show some of these sets that they did. So it says an awesome, if you like me and you're really into Matchbox, then you'll love this book. I nearly got one of these the other day. Not this particular one, I think it might be on the next page, but the guy wanted a little bit too much money for it. Things like this, they fetch a few £100s now if they're in mint condition with their boxes. I come across one that was in great condition. The actual inside was in great condition, but the box was a bit shabby, had a piece of the box missing. I wasn't willing to pay the money that he wanted for it. I've got that car. It's one of my favourite little Matchbox cars. There you go, there it is again in the set. So some of the cars came with the set, as you can see. So that's where, again, some of the variations come from certain cars. But I'm not going to show any more because, like I said, I don't want to go on for too long. You get the gist. But I've got other books to show now, and I've also got some catalogues. I've been really busy recently buying lots and lots of stuff and spending lots of my hard-earned pennies on buying lots and lots of Matchbox related stuff. So over the next few months, I'm going to be showing some, what I think will be some very, very good vintage videos. I'm not going to be doing so much modern stuff. Like I said, I am going to still show the odd modern piece as I come across it, but I am concentrating more on the vintage as it's more what I'm into, and I'm just going to sort of see how it goes for a bit. But anyway, with that, please like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more vintage. I want to say vintage Matchbox then, but yeah, vintage Matchbox. But yeah, stay tuned for more vintage diecast episodes, vintage diecast Monday episodes, where you get to see obviously different vintage cars, lots of Matchbox, and lots of Matchbox catalogues upcoming in the future. I am working on a custom. I am working on a restoration. I'll be showing those as well. I'm working on a modern restoration. All I will say is it's a Volkswagen. I will say that. So stay tuned for that, for all those out there that are into your customs and your modern pieces. And with that, I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.